Welcome to 24 Days of Drops, an Animal Crossing New Horizons advent calendar that reveals a new build for differently themed island entrants each day until Christmas. Are you ready for today's theme? Hey, and hello. Welcome to day 20 or 24 to our Animal Crossing New Horizons advent calendar. My name is Lita, and today we're building a Christmas village. Now, I know that, we kind of skipped 4 days, but I did announce it, so I hope it wasn't too much of a surprise. And I was going to post this on the 20th, but I can't lie, I was struggling a little bit with this build because this is very out of my comfort zone. However, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. So I thought it was perfect to then just post it on Christmas Eve, which, by the way, is very confusing to me because, in Germany we only have Christmas, which to you is Christmas Eve, so it's the 24th, and then on the 25th we have the first Christmas day, and then on the 22nd we have the second Christmas day, technically. Did I just say Quizmoise? So it's always very confusing. I always think that Christmas Eve is on the 25th and then Christmas Day is on the 26th for you, but that's very much not the case. Can we just have one universal thing? Like it should just be one. It's very confusing to me. Anyway, it is the 24th, aka Christmas for me, so I'm going to refer to it as Christmas. Oh, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful time with your family if you're watching this before or during Christmas. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Enjoy the festive season and that you're going to have lots of food, lots of time with your families and all that stuff. And maybe also play some Animal Crossing because I know that some people, have kind of been burnt out with the game or have fallen out of love with the game. And I very much honestly thought that I was the same for me, but then I streamed Christmas Island last night on Twitch again, which, by the way, twitch.tv/LinaTries. If you're not following me over there, do it please, because we need you over there. Thank you very much. But I think it was just because of this advent calendar, it was very overwhelming to me, and it felt like, very honestly, I'm always transparent with that stuff, but it felt like just another tick off my list whenever I got a build done. So I don't feel like I have played the game recently, so I've just been very excited to stream it again. Weirdly enough, I had to force myself to get back into it, but I love it now, and I think I'm actually going to do some decorating over the holidays by myself in handheld mode without the option to even record anything because I won't have my equipment with me. But that's just very exciting to me, and then we can come back in the new year and we can do some more decorating. We can pick up the old island or the new old island again, Skir over here, the Nordic Druid island, which I think is going to be perfect for that time just after Christmas because it's not going to be festive, but it's still going to be like cozy wintry kind of without being in the snow. And I'm going to share the progress that I've made on our Willy Wonka Candy Christmas Island, which I'm also very excited for. By the way, we are still having a competition or a little community challenge where you design a happy home paradise home for your absolute favorite villager, celebrating the holiday that you're celebrating during this season. That can be Christmas, that can be Hanukkah if you're celebrating that can also just be New Year's, depending on what you personally prefer and what you want to showcase. You can give them a home and what you think their ideal Christmas would look like. So if you'd like to enter, there's more info in the Discord that I will put up there because I have kind of forgotten to do so, and we only have a Twitch command. But yeah, that's all for the announcements because I had to do a little bit of waterscaping, and now we are onto the back section of this because I did want the bridge to kind of be a key feature. I saw an Instagram post by Plant Sim Girl, who is a Sims content creator, the Sims 4 content creator, and they built this beautiful Christmassy village, and that kind of inspired this build initially with the houses and the way that the bridge kind of was. And so we are going to be implementing 3 villager houses in this build, which I thought was really cool because I rarely do a proper neighborhood right at the entrance. I do sometimes implement one house or the rep's house or the museum tent or something, but I rarely do a full neighborhood. So this was very exciting to me, and also working with a road like this was very tricky because I never really do that. If you have any tips on how to lay these roads, I think I technically know how to, but I just feel weird not littering everything in items, which, you know, is realistic for a city not to have items everywhere, right? Because streets need to be somewhat empty, because otherwise no one can get through, right? Unless for like an abandoned kind of island, which is probably also why I prefer those types of cities. But I really wanted like a traditional city town. And I do know that the red Zen bridge is very much like kind of more on the Japanese or Asian inspired kind of side. But I felt like the red, I just wanted to have some hints of red, go with a very traditional color palette of the warm colors against the snow with like tons of Christmas trees. And I also have been wanting to use this like snow prints path, which, by the way, all the custom codes that I use will obviously be in the description box down below as per usual, so you can grab them down there. I really like them. It was very tricky though, I can't lie, because I knew that I wanted this like roundabout cul-de-sac type of thing in the middle to have a centerpiece. And initially I thought I'd put a Christmas tree there, but in a bit we are going to pop a little nuptial bell there, because I really love how well the color palette went with this theme. Also with the houses, kind of, it just made it feel even more cozy. Also for the final tour, we will see this during the daytime, and then I'm also going to cut to a nighttime scene because of all the lights on the Christmas trees, and I'm also going to pop in some street lights and stuff. So I think it looks very pretty in the like candle lit kind of vibes. So I'm very excited about this build, because I really wanted a build that worked in both times, even though I've yet to see it in both times, because I have currently, as I'm recording this, not yet filmed said tour. So I'm just pretending here, okay? I'm just pretending here. But yeah, we have finally laid down all the road path. There is going to be a couple more fidgets with that, and we're also going to extend this out towards the right, but behind, I think that's Cat's house. And because for this island entrance, obviously I don't have the DLC on my modded. It's not obvious, but I don't have the obvious. I don't have the DLC on my modded Switch, so I cannot redecorate or customize my villager homes just yet, because I have yet to get and speedrun that. But I incorporated Crackle, aka Spork's home, and Cat and Hazel's houses, because they work really well. And I was gonna use like Molly and Eric with like the traditional log cabin, but I felt like these felt a bit more city-like, while still keeping that like cabin-y warm vibe. And I really like how they go together, because they are not the exact same, but they are very similar, which I think is quite realistic for a little city build, because houses will often look similar but not obviously the exact same, unless they are in like a huge area that's been all designed by the same architecture or landscape developer, I guess. But really happy with how the houses look together. And then obviously I wanted to give them different little nooks. There's not going to be too many items in front of the houses, even though I feel like they are. Because I also popped that a little like seating nook in. There's gonna be some fencing. I'm also, in the beginning, I'm going to be using the country fence in a little second, but then later on I'm gonna exchange that for the white simple fence, because I just wasn't vibing with like all the wood towns clashing. I know that, you know, I don't love when everything is like too matchy, but it was a bit too much, and I felt like I had to tone it down a little bit. So we are going to be using the white picket fence, the simple white wooden fence, because I felt like that just made it look a bit better. And we also have like the barrels and stuff, which is like a slightly off tone from that wooden country fence. So I just felt like it was a bit too much with all the different brown tones. It was quite tricky actually to balance out all the colors, but I am happy with how it turned out. It just makes it feel very warm, and I am happy that I went with this, because I was initially gonna make a very like not pastel, but very soft beigey aesthetic kind of Christmas, but that was too close to the farm core Christmas build that I did fairly towards the beginning of this advent calendar, which technically it wasn't like too pastel-y or like too soft, but it was a lot lighter in the colors, and I felt like I wanted to have like a very traditional with rich reds and rich browns and rich dark green for the Christmas trees. And I feel like this has actually made me feel a lot more festive, because after I'm recording this I have to wrap some presents, and then we are going to drive all the way through Germany to visit my grandma for Christmas, and I'm very, very excited for that. And this kind of just put me in the mood. You will also see some time skips. What the fuck's that? Time skips throughout this build, because this took me a couple of days actually to put together. It was very tricky, and you'll also see me fidget with the trees over to the left side, because I felt like just putting a forest there again was a bit weird. I didn't really like that, so I wanted to put I always want to call it a pergola, but that is the gazebo that we're going to put there, and with a little like seating nook in the front of it, and then we're going to tuck that in with some foliage, and we're also going to right in the end flop a little fake building there made from the storefronts, because I felt like that just kind of tied it together a bit more, because initially this felt like the front part, like the very, very main entrance, was super white with like all the snow and everything, and there was not too much going on, so it felt very imbalanced with the backdrop. So I wanted to bring some dark browns and reds and everything towards the front. So we're going to shuffle all of that around throughout, and also towards the back of this build we're going to fill it up with castle items in a second, and also just like some more trees, and we're also going to be lining the castle walls with the red storefronts just to give it some depth. I didn't really decorate too much behind the houses because you really couldn't see, and I felt like it was already a reach to include this into an entrance build, because this is once again a huge entrance area, so it's more like an entrance and like the area behind it. But you know me, I can't control myself, right? If I start something and I'm very expired and I'm feeling very inspired and I'm very expired, then I can't stop myself. And I felt like, you know, I kind of missed 4 days, so I didn't want to do a super short build today, so I'm actually quite pleased that this is like a more normal length. But then obviously after Christmas we're gonna come back to Skeeth with some more like longer builds, some more let's play type of builds, which I really miss doing. I feel like I haven't done them in ages, and it's always so fun. It's also more fun for me to edit them, because I feel like for the speed builds I kind of turn them into like a mini podcast and just talk about whatever comes to mind. But with the builds I actually talk about like my thought process, and there's like some weird gibberish coming out, so it's a lot more fun for me to play with that footage. And because I have footage to play with, I don't have to add the footage or the voice footage in post, right? So that is quite nice. That is quite nice. I'm very much looking forward to it. Also, there's not going to be any videos during my break. I was going to pre-produce them, but honestly I did record something, but I really hated it and I wasn't happy with it. I think it was just because of burnout, and I don't want to force anything. If I'm not happy with it, I won't want to upload it. So we're just gonna come back in the new year with a fresh brain and fresh ideas, and feeling probably a bit deprived from playing, so I hope that's gonna help me, or at least from playing on my other island on Skier. So if you have any build ideas, by the way, for the Nordic Druid Island, please drop them in the comments below. I've already gotten some beautiful DMs with pictures and ideas, so we're definitely going to be tackling some of those. But if you still have ideas, we just started our island, so we have plenty of space, my love. Drop them below. Also, I feel like my voice is leaving me again. Rude. Very rude. You just saw me flop in that gazebo and do some more bits to the front, and then we're just going to be all over the place. We're going to be detailing the street, and then in the next second we're going to be working behind the houses, and for that, on that little wood chopping area that we put all the way in the back in front of the castle items, because I felt like I didn't really know what I wanted to do there, so I thought we could just do like a little foliage bit with a little woodwork or wood chopping kind of area, because obviously it's the winter time, so maybe we're going to need some wood to heat up our wood burners, and I thought that was really, really cute. I am quite happy with that. I was gonna do a lot more with that, but because it's so hidden, and again, this is a very big build, or like a very big area really. Not too big of a build in terms of items though, because I feel like with most city builds, you know, you can't really use that many items, because then it's gonna feel very unrealistic. So again, if you have any tips for that, please let me know, because I am very much not a pro when it comes to city core or city islands. I really need to learn and watch more people who do city islands, because I'm really bad at them. Like, I struggle so much with roads and laying that out, filling it in, knowing how many items are okay, and I feel like this is probably already too cluttered, but I just really wanted it to still have some personality, because, you know, Christmas time, I wanted there to be a couple little hints here and there of Christmas and also of just like community. So I put that little, like, what is it called? That organ, can't remember, street organ I think it's called. I don't know, I felt like that just made it feel a bit cozier with like the newspaper, some barrels, some food, you know, I get that sense of community in, because I feel like that's a big part of Christmas, to just come together, whether that being with your loved ones, your friends, or just with your senses, because I feel like Christmas time is also a time where a lot of us reflect on the year, and that can be very depressing, but it can also be very nice. So I hope that it's gonna be a very nice time. What the fuck am I going on about, by the way? What am I going on? I went from let's detail this up, I want to have a gazebo here, to I know we all reflect and we do feel like shit at the end of the year because we didn't meet what we expected. What was that? Oh my god, can you hear my voice? There's something sitting in my throat. I think you can also say in English that you have a frog in your throat, because you can definitely say that in German. And I think I've heard some English people say that. Jesus. I'm banging on my what the fuck am I doing? On my chest to loosen up the cough. I don't know why I just flopped out. It might be because I just had a coffee. And you know when after you're sick and you have like dairy, it's not dairy, it's oat milk, but like anything of the texture or something dairy, you get that weird like in your throat, and that makes you cough a lot. I think that's why. But anywho, back to the build. We are now close to just detailing up around the fringes of this build, so we're going to be popping in a couple more foliage bits, also some little groups of items with like barrels, wooden boxes, classic pictures, very, very simple groups of items, because I didn't feel like overcrowding it with like too elaborate things towards the fringes of this, because obviously I want the focal point to be the centerpiece in the middle of the path that we laid out, in the middle of the neighborhood, and also the gazebo. So we kept it very, very simple towards the outsides, and that might also be not only because I wanted to have the centerpiece there, but also because I don't know how to use any item that is not a barrel, to be fair. So, you know, just being transparent here. And obviously you can see that there's not everything filled up towards the back, but I tried to fill everything out. So if you can still see a black spot, I'm very sorry. But again, this is not a finished island. This is an entrance build, okay? But I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. We are approaching the end of this video, my love. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really, really enjoyed it. I hope you're gonna have the most wonderful Christmas time with your family, your friends, or by yourself, just having a cozy one, doing whatever you prefer doing. And I know that Christmas can also be a very sad time for people, so I hope that you're gonna spend it in an environment where you can be comfortable and feel safe. I am sending you all the hugs and all the warmth and all the coziness, and thank you so much for a wonderful year of 2022. I cannot be more thankful. The switch over to Twitch for the streams was wonderful, meeting so many more people and like hitting so many milestones over there already, and just kind of rekindling my love for streaming. Thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate every single one of you so much. And then we're going to see each other in the new year, which we are probably going to be kicking off with a very long stream. Keep an eye on the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, the link is always in the video description. Thank you so much. I'm gonna leave you now. I have waffled on for long enough. You will see a little tour of this final Christmas village. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.